Everything you think you know about how lying looks is probably wrong. The shifty eyes, the nervous touch to the nose, the inability to maintain eye contact. These are cultural artifacts of bad television, not operational signatures of actual deception. The reason so many people are successfully deceived is that they are watching for the wrong signals entirely, surface behaviors that the practiced deceiver has long since learned to manage. The real tells are in the system, in the cognitive load, in the places the brain has no conscious access to. Before any individual signal means anything, you need a baseline, an established reference for this person's behavior under neutral condition. This is the step that renders most amateur lie detection useless. A person who naturally breaks eye contact while thinking is not showing deception when they break eye contact mid-answer. You are not looking for specific behaviors in isolation. You are looking for deviation from this person's established normal. Baseline first, deviation second. Without the baseline, you are reading noise as signal. The average person blinks 15 to 20 times per minute. Ask them something they are lying about, and that number changes in a way they cannot control and will never notice. When the brain is under the cognitive load of constructing a false statement, it allocates resources away from automatic functions. Blinking is one of them. In the seconds immediately following a deceptive statement, blink rate often drops as the system processes the high-demand construction. But there is a second signature, right after the lie is delivered, when the cognitive load releases. Blink rate frequently spikes above baseline in a brief cluster. The drop before, the spike after. That is the window. Most people look at the face for truth. Trained observers watch what happens in the seconds around the answer, not during it. Blink rate is only one channel. The eyes produce a second tell that is nearly impossible to suppress, and it appears before a single word is spoken. Lying is cognitively expensive in a way that truth-telling is not. When you tell the truth about where you were, you retrieve a memory. The cognitive load is low. When you construct a lie, you must build a plausible alternative account. Monitor what the listener knows. Manage your emotional response to the stress of deception, and simultaneously perform the social behaviors of someone not under stress. This is a high-demand parallel processing task. Motor suppression, reduced gestural variation, vocal flatness. These are the side effects of a system running close to capacity. The blink rate pattern during deception is not simply fewer blinks. It has a specific shape across time. In the moments immediately before a deceptive statement, blink rate often drops as resources are allocated. During the delivery, the drop may continue. In the 2 to 5 seconds following the completed lie, when the cognitive load releases, there is frequently a brief spike in blink rate as the suppressed reflex reasserts. The pattern is normal, baseline, drop, spike after. That temporal signature is more telling than any single snapshot. Most people think lying looks nervous, shifty eyes, fidgeting, but the most dangerous liars go completely still. And that stillness is the tell. When cognitive demand spikes, as it does when someone is constructing a false account in real time, the brain simplifies motor output. Gestures reduce. Head movement that normally punctuates speech disappears. The animation that characterized the person moments before goes flat. This is not composure. It is cognitive overload producing motor suppression. The face that is gone, unusually still, while the mouth produces a fluent story, is not evidence of calm. It is evidence of a system working at near maximum capacity to do something it does not do naturally. The story is smooth. The body has frozen. That is the contradiction to read. There is a third signature, and unlike blink, rate, and stillness, this one appears not in how someone looks, but in how they listen. It fires in the half-second before they have decided how to respond. Structural features of language reveal what content cannot. The liar, under cognitive load, tends to simplify sentence structure. They use distancing language, the passive voice, third-person self-reference, referring to their own actions as events that happened rather than choices they made. They provide unprompted specificity, the elaborate timeline offered when no one asked. They use word choices that reduce their ownership of events. These are not stylistic choices. They are the behavioral signature of a person maintaining distance from the account they are producing. One of the most underused techniques in real-time deception detection is the unexpected question, one that arrives from a different direction than the conversation's trajectory. A practiced liar has prepared for the likely questions. They have not prepared for the question that lands outside the prepared narrative. The response reveals the actual processing time required. A truthful person may pause. Memory retrieval takes a moment. A person generating on the fly will show a distinctive quality of temporal disruption. The answer takes longer than the complexity of the question warrants, or shifts the question before answering it. Microexpressions last between 1/25th and 1/5th of a second. They cannot be voluntarily suppressed, and they appear whether the person wants them to or not. A microexpression is a full emotional display that crosses the face too quickly for conscious management to intercept. A flash of contempt on the face of someone telling you they respect you. A flash of fear on the face of someone claiming confidence. You do not need specialized training to begin detecting them. You need to slow down, stop monitoring for content, and start attending to the moment between the question and the composed response. Because that fraction of a second before management takes over is when the signal is cleanest. Everything covered so far is about what happens in the body. But the most reliable indicators of deception are not physical, they are structural. They are in the architecture of the sentences themselves. The most important operating principle in behavioral deception detection is the one people most resist. No single signal is proof of anything. The cluster matters. The temporal relationship between signals matters. The deviation from baseline matters. A person who breaks eye contact, touches their throat, and has reduced blink rate might be lying. They might also be anxious about being falsely accused, which produces an identical physiological profile. The signals tell you where to look more carefully. They do not tell you what to conclude. Reading deception is primarily an attention skill. The techniques are the architectures, but they only become visible to someone who has learned to attend without agenda, without needing to be right, without the confirming bias of having already decided. The person who enters a conversation having already concluded someone is lying will find evidence. The person who enters having decided they are truthful will also find evidence. Neither is reading, both are projecting. The actual skill is staying genuinely open while watching with full attention, across all channels, across time, for the pattern that only appears when you are not chasing it.